33 photographers join me from all over the country in the middle of the Chesapeake for these multi-day trips to photograph wildlife, watermen, and the beauty of the bay. The workshops have evolved into a lot more than I've ever thought they would be. It's my hope that I can continue to share my passion for Smith Island and the beauty of the place with other photographers for years to come. So in 2015, I was approached by two photographers from Washington, D.C. about doing a workshop. At that point in time, I really didn't know what a workshop was, but as a young photographer just starting out, I was eager to try different things and figure out new ways that I could make a living. And I suggested to these two photographers that we got to Smith Island, one of my favorite places in the bay, where we could photograph wildlife, we could document culture, we could document working watermen. So Smith Island was the obvious choice. And since then, in 2015, the workshops grew every year, and they've grown into what they are today, where I do a series of like 6 workshops back to back in the month of June on Smith Island. I wouldn't call these workshops relaxing. It's not exactly a vacation. It's it's almost like work in a sense. We're getting up early in the morning. We get up at well before the sun rises. We're out on the water with the watermen, and we're getting out early so we can get the best light on our subjects. So typically during the summer, that involves getting up around 4 o'clock in the morning, and we're out on the water by like 4:45, 5 o'clock to capture that light. Pick the timing where we can document the watermen catching crabs and also the wildlife on the island. I would in some ways compare it to the Galapagos Islands, which I also do workshops there, but Smith Island is truly the Galapagos of the Chesapeake Bay for wildlife. So in 2009, I made my first trip out to Smith Island. I didn't know anybody on the island, and I knew that I wanted to get out there and photograph what I call a natural history phenomenon, where there's thousands of pairs of birds just nesting right on the beach. Pelicans come to Smith Island every year, kind of like I do. I loaded my camera gear up, had a kayak and camping gear, and basically when I got to the island, I just paddled south to where I thought the pelicans would be. I found them, and I ended up camping out on the island with the pelicans. In a lot of ways, they're pretty unfazed by human presence, so it's a great opportunity for photographers to get close to birds. It's really spectacular. You can get incredible pictures of the adult pelicans coming in to feed the chicks. It was a pretty special moment, and after doing the shoot in the morning, I came back to the island, told some of the people at the dock what I was doing. I think they thought I was a little bit nuts. They gave me beer, let me hang out, and I kept coming back and again and again and again. Eventually, I made a lot of friends out there, and Smith Island has really become like a second home to me, where I can escape the realities of the mainland and have access to an incredible array of subjects that are kind of unique to Smith Island and the Chesapeake Bay. So the thing that I enjoy most about these photography workshops is getting to interact with other photographers, getting to build an incredible network of photographers. Since I first started doing these workshops in 2015, I would estimate that I've taken probably over 250 photographers out to Smith Island. So it's provided me with an incredible network of people. So if each person who comes out on the experience tells 5 other people about it, that's a pretty big impact. Hopefully people are sharing their stories, sharing the pictures, encouraging other people to come out, encouraging people to support these communities in the middle of the Chesapeake Bay that really could use the help. So in recent decades, the populations of Smith Island and Tangier have both been declining. This is a real motivation for me to get out and document these ways of life that could potentially be lost. I think that's an important thing for my photography workshop students to note too, is that everything changes, and as photographers, we have a responsibility and a duty to document things before they change. So that's what I always tell my groups when they come out, is that, think about everything that you're photographing. It could be completely gone or different in 20 years. So it's important not only for historical documentation, but also for telling the stories of these people to share with them and their families for years to come. So it's important to incorporate the local community into what I'm doing, to give the photographers that more authentic experience and provide them with a more comprehensive portfolio of island life. Not just pictures of birds and boats, it's, the community is what makes Smith Island so special. I think these workshops have helped people on Smith Island see tourism in a different light. You know, these are small groups. It's not large groups of people like getting off of a cruise ship, so it's not really intrusive to the island community, and I'm bringing out people who really are truly interested in the way of life and the environment on the island. Crab shanty tours, Smith Island cake making demos where the photographers get to participate in making the iconic Maryland state dessert. On the workshops, we meet a lot of different characters who we photograph and who also help, make these trips possible. Getting a feel for the island flavor and the people on the island, I think, is one of the most rewarding parts of the whole trip for the photographers. So the photographers, the more they learn about what they're photographing and the people that they're photographing, the better they can be at explaining their work and the better they can cover the different subjects. All of the meals on the workshops are prepared by people on the island. So they're using traditional island recipes and also local ingredients to prepare these meals for us. So stuff like crab cakes or rockfish topped with crab imperial, obviously Smith Island cake, makes these trips so much more authentic and special. And we eat these meals on the island family style, so everybody's sitting around the table kind of conversing with each other about everything that we're doing, talking about the trip, talking about what we've seen. It's a nice thing for the photographers. It's a nice way to bring the group together and create a nice dynamic for everybody. With the way that the crabbing business has been going for people in Smith Island, it's been kind of down the past 10 years. Watermen who are out on the island have actually been kind of embracing the idea of doing the crab house tours, taking people out crabbing. So I feel like what I've done on Smith Island has helped other people develop businesses around a similar type of tourism. So helping kind of invigorate a new economy and small industry on Smith Island through these workshops has been very rewarding. So my hope is that the photographers come away from the workshop experience with a new appreciation for the Chesapeake Bay, the environment, the wildlife, and also the people who depend upon the resources of the Chesapeake Bay for their living. And so hopefully what they photograph can help inspire them to preserve these communities, to preserve the landscape, and to preserve the way of life that provides us with local seafood. Smith Island has long been a community of commercial fishermen and watermen making a living off the Chesapeake Bay, so harvesting crabs, fish, and oysters, and that's still true today. Even though the stocks of everything has diminished and the number of watermen's diminished, Smith Island is still very strongly based in seafood. So the blue crab is iconic during the summer months and the oysters during the winter months. Crabbers fish pots for peelers and hard crabs in open water, and scrapers work in the shallow grass beds for soft crabs. I'm able to get photographers up close and personal to these different commercial fisheries. Experiencing these fisheries firsthand and seeing them up close is a great way to connect photographers with the subjects that they're photographing and also the seafood that they eat. My hope is that the photographers walk away from these workshops with a better appreciation and understanding for Smith Island and the communities of watermen along the Chesapeake Bay, a better understanding of where their seafood comes from, how it's harvested, and to preserve this way of life by supporting the local seafood industry. So in addition to being the captain on the boat, the guide taking the photographers to these different locations, my job as the workshop leader is to guide people to the best possible settings for different situations that we're photographing. So I'm constantly, yelling out different settings in terms of the ISO, the aperture, the shutter speed. I'm kind of helping people figure out where they should be with their settings. And hopefully what this does for the photographers is it helps them think critically about where their cameras should be for different situations. So after our shoots out on the water, I try to take time with each photographer and provide tips for editing, retouching, and kind of show them my process for going through these images and turning it from just a file to a photograph. So photographers come away from these workshops with a better understanding of their camera, better understanding of what they're shooting, and also portfolio-worthy pieces. I've had a lot of photographers enter their work from these workshops into contests on both a national scale and a local scale and actually get incredible recognition from their work on these workshops. So for me, that's an incredibly rewarding thing to be able to bring that type of satisfaction to other photographers within my community. I've hosted photographers as young as 15 years old up to 85 years old in these workshops. So they're really designed for people of all ages. And I've had people come out with just cell phones and get great pictures. And I've had people come out with $40,000 worth of gear and come away with great pictures. So it's not just about what you're gonna walk away with in terms of the photography, it's about the experience. So the experience of being out on the island, the experience of meeting the islanders, the experience of eating the locally caught seafood and making a cake, all that really round out the experience of being out there. So I hope to continue to do these workshops for years to come, as long as I can, as long as there's enough people on the island to help me run these workshops, because without the help of the islanders and their hospitality, these trips would not at all be possible.